Thredbo has the longest trails and largest vertical of the Australian resorts and, as a result, is the closest to North American or European skiing you'll find in Australia. Thredbo offers lots of terrain for the intermediate skier or rider and some good trails and trees for the advanced. The green trails are grouped in three main areas. Although the low elevation of the beginner area means it's impacted by warm weather and snow conditions, even with the snowmaking. The resort receives 198 centimeters of snowfall each year and has the highest lifted point in Australia. If you're up there, ring the bell to celebrate it. There are two base areas, Valley Terminal and Friday Flat, which is the beginner area. There's accommodation close to the base area, but most is across the river, requiring a short walk or bus ride to the lifts.
The trails do well at separating skiers based on ability. However, some traversing is necessary to get between areas without going all the way to the base, including cutting across T-bars. The beginner area is easy to access and well separated from other skiers. Intermediate skiers can rinse blue trails off certain lifts, notably some great long rollers. When conditions permit, advanced skiers can venture off-piste into Golf Course Bowl, which has a lengthy traverse out. The T-bar access to parts of the resort might frustrate snowboarders, but the extent of terrain covered by express lifts makes it easy to overlook. With 67% of the terrain rated blue, this is a resort suited to intermediate or advanced skiers who enjoy carving up a groomer.
Getting to Thredbo is a 5-hour drive from Sydney or roughly 3 hours from Canberra. There are bus and private transfer options from both Sydney and Canberra to and from your accommodation. Alternatively, Snowy Mountains Airport is an option for anyone considering private charter flights. If you are driving, you will need chains as required by law, and if your car is diesel, make sure to get Alpine fuel mix or winter fuel additive. There is also a national park fee that you'll need to pay when visiting Thredbo. See the resort website for details.
The village terminal base area has all necessary facilities and provides access to all areas of the resort. Friday Flats is the base area with the beginner zone and ski school. Accommodation is spread out along the valley and across the river from the base areas, limiting the extent of true ski in, ski out lodging. Most accommodation is a short walk or ride on the resort bus to the base areas.
There are a number of places to get food on mountain. Merritt's is the biggest and newest, but Black Sally's and Karela provide less crowded options. Most of the restaurants and bars are located in the base area and the village. There are places to eat a packed lunch at the main base areas and Merritt's.
Let's get into the skiing. For the beginners, the Friday Flat and Easy Does It are the best place to start the day. For those ready to venture out of the beginner area, the cruiser chair provides access to some gentle greens and easy blues that are great for building confidence. This area can get busy, therefore to escape the crowds, beginners will need to conquer the basin and coal T-bars to access some green trails higher up the mountain. Also note the snow on Basin Run holds up well due to the southerly aspect and higher elevation, while Village Way makes for a long adventure off the mountain for the progressive beginner.
When snow conditions allow, there are some fun features for the kids at the top of Squatters Run and along the playground trail. Looping through the trees near Ballroom will also keep them entertained.
For the intermediate skier, True Blue and World Cup off of the Kosciuszko lift provide some long rolling blues that are reminiscent of North American resorts, while Exhibition and Albert's Amble provide some bowl skiing, dropping into tree-lined trails. The snow conditions on the trails off Spinars and Anton's T-bars tend to hold up well due to the higher elevation and southerly aspect. The Cruiser Express provides access to gentle blues, but tends to be busier than other parts of the resort.
There are a few terrain parks at Thredbo, with the larger features at Monster Energy Park and the small ones at Boost Mobile Park. The Easy Rider T-bar makes lapping the rails and small kickers on the Boost Mobile Park a cinch. For the advanced skier, the Golf Course Bowl and the trails of Kosciuszko Lift provide black trails of decent length with a fair amount of descent. Unfortunately, these trails were closed during our visit due to the lack of snow, but we did attempt boundary riders in questionable conditions.
A few things to be aware of for Thredbo. The resort has snowmaking facilities serving most of the lower mountain, ensuring coverage for beginner trails and access to the base areas. The Kosciuszko and Cruiser Express chairlifts are busy and have queues for most of the morning, but they do move and are well managed. Likewise, the T-bars can get busy and have queues for a few hours in the morning. The resort map notes some of the long trails at Thredbo, which also have decent elevation drop, making for enjoyable skiing comparable to Northern Hemisphere resorts. The New South Wales school holidays, 2 weeks in early July, are very busy along with August weekends.
The lower parts of village and sundowner trails can be quite congested and get tracked out after lunch due to the number of trails that merge onto them. When conditions are good, the trails of Gun Barrel are challenging and worth a look, but wait till the skiers are spread out across the resort. In spring, or when snow conditions are poor, the black trails may be closed, and the lower part of the resort can be very soft and slushy. On a clear day, take in the view from the top of Carroll's T-Bar, and be sure to ring the bell while you're up there.
The terrain at Thredbo is spread along one side of the mountain range. There are a few valleys, but this limits places to avoid the weather on bad days. Gun Barrel Lift and Merritt's Gondola provide access to blue trails in the valleys that may avoid the wind. The new Alpine Coaster or a snowshoe tour may be a better option if the weather doesn't suit skiing.
There are a few accommodation options on the resort side of the valley, providing ski-in, ski-out facilities. However, most of the accommodation is across the river, requiring a short walk or bus ride to the lifts. The Thredbo village is compact, and there are a few restaurants and bars, making for a good après-ski vibe. There are retail stores for any clothing needs, and a Foodworks supermarket for groceries. Most visitors stay in Jindabyne and drive up, and accommodation down the valley isn't much cheaper. There is a big car park for day visitors, but it does fill up, especially on weekends. If you're staying in the village, a car is not required.
In our opinion, Thredbo is a well-rounded Australian resort. The beginner area and green trails across the resort are great for those learning to ski and will help build confidence and skills. The elevation gain provides some excellent blue and black trails for intermediate and advanced skiers. With the express lifts and long trails, you can get more time on the slopes at Thredbo. The facilities across the resort, lifts and trails make this a resort that caters well to intermediate and advanced skiers without overlooking beginners.
Check out our trail and lift videos to get the most out of your visit to this resort.